Shri Sai Ram, Sandeha Nivarini by Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba. Chapter 1, Bhakta. Swami, can we ask you freely about any topic concerning the spiritual path which we do not know? Swami, certainly. What is the objection? What am I here for? Is it not for explaining to you things which you do not know? Gladly you can ask me. I am always ready to answer. Only I want people who inquire earnestly with the desire to know. Bhakta. But some elders say that it is wrong to put vexing questions to the Guru. Are they right or not in saying so? Swami, that is not correct. Whom else can the disciple rely upon? Since the Guru is his everything, it is good to consult him in all matters and then act. Bhakta, some say that we should reverentially carry out whatever the elders ask us to do, and that it is wrong to raise objections. May I know your opinion on this, please? Swami, until you develop full faith in those elders and understand the validity of their words, carrying out their orders reverentially is a task beyond you. Under such circumstances, it won't be wrong to ask for the validity and the significance of their order. Bhakta, Swami, whom are we to believe? Whom are we to discard in this world? It is so full of deceit. When those whom we believe are good themselves turn out to be bad, how can faith get developed? Swami, well, my boy, where is the need for you in this world or any world to believe in others? First, believe in yourself. Then, believe in the Lord, Paramatma. When you have faith in these two, neither the good nor the bad of the world will come to your cognition, and there is no need to bring them to your cognition as well. Bhakta, faith in the Lord itself diminishes sometimes. What is the reason? Swami, when one is deluded by the merely external and does not attain success in such external desires, faith in the Paramatma or Lord diminishes. So, give up such desires and desire only for the spiritual relationship. Then, you won't be the target for those doubts and difficulties. For this, the important thing is firm faith in the Lord or Paramatma. Without it, you doubt everything big and small. Bhakta, until we understand the Nija Tattvam or the real nature of Paramatma, it is important, they say, to have the company of the great and also a Guru is needed. Are these necessary? Swami, of course the company of the great is necessary to make known that Tattvam or reality. A Guru too is important. But in this matter, you should be very careful. These days, genuine Gurus are scarce. Cheaters have multiplied and teachers have retreated into solitude to strive for realizing themselves. There are many genuine Gurus also in the world, but they are not to be secured easily. Even if you get them, it depends on one's destiny. They may vouchsafe one short sadvakya or aphorism only. They won't spend time telling all kinds of stories. So, in the search for a Guru, there should be no hurry. Bhakta, if so, what in the world is the path? Swami, it is only for that we have the Veda, Shastra, Purana and Itihasa. Study them and follow the path of the experienced, understand their meaning and trend of the message from Pandits, and follow them in action and meditate on Paramatma as the Guru and as God. Then those books themselves will come to your help as Guru. For The Guru is that through which your mind gets fixed on God. If you consider Paramatma as the Guru, and if you do sadhana or spiritual practice with unshakable prema or love for Paramatma, Paramatma himself will appear before you as your Sadguru and give Upadesham or spiritual instruction, or he will bless you that as a result of your sadhana itself, you may meet a Sadguru, Bhakta. But nowadays some great big persons are granting Upadesham to all who ask for it. Are these not Sadgurus? Swami, I won't ask just whether they are or they are not. I will declare only this. It is not the sign of a Sadguru to freely grant Upadesham to anyone who comes and flatters him as Guru for a short while without discovering and considering the qualifications of the pupil properly and testing whether he is a fit for the purpose or not. Bhakta, then, Swami, I have committed a blunder. When some great person arrived at her village, and when all were receiving Upadesham from him, I too went and prostrated and asked him to give me Upadesham. That great person then granted me a good Upadesham. I was repeating it. After some time, I came to know that great person was a cheat. From that day, I lost faith in that name. I gave up that mantra. Is this wrong or am I right? Swami, are you considering what is wrong in this? It is very wrong, just as the Guru should, as I told you before, examine the qualifications and fitness of the disciple. The disciple too should critically examine the qualifications, actions and greatness of the Guru before receiving Upadesham. Without thinking of this, you hastily accepted Upadesham. That was the first mistake. Well, even if the Guru gave it without being fit for it, you have given up your vow to repeat the name of Paramatma so received. The second mistake is your discarding the name of Paramatma, casting another's fault on the sacred name. Before receiving Upadesham, you should have taken as much time as needed to know this truth and to cultivate real faith in him. Then, if you so desire, you could receive Upadesham. Once you accept, whatever the difficulty, you should repeat it without giving it up. The evil or the sin in it won't affect you then. Otherwise, the wrong of accepting quickly and rejecting quickly will be on you. How can I say that you are perfect? You should not accept a name which you do not prefer, or when afflicted my doubts. Having accepted, you should not give up. Bhakta, what happens when it is given up? Swami, well, my boy, disloyalty to the Guru and discarding the name of God on account of these, your one-pointed endeavor and concentration will wither away, just as the saying goes, the diseased seedling can never grow into a tree. Bhakta, but if the Guru vouchsafes, though we lack the qualification, Swami, such a Guru is no Guru. The result of his wrong won't fall on you. The evil of that wrong will be on him only. Bhakta, if the disciple acts according to the promise made to the Guru, whatever the Guru's character may be, and if without altering his attitude, the disciple honors him as usual, can he still realize the goal? Swami, certainly, what doubt is there? Don't you know the story of Ekalavya? Though Dronacharya did not accept him as his disciple, the disciple installed the image and took it as the Guru with form and achieved mastery of all arts. Finally, when the Guru, following a victim to injustice, asked for the right thumb as his Guru Dakshina, he offered it immediately. Did Ekalavya take to heart the harm done by the Guru? Bhakta, of what use was this offer? Of what use was his offer? His education became a waste. That was all, isn't it? What was the net result of all that achievement? Swami, though he lost the chance of using his education, the good character he acquired through that education was never lost. Is not the lasting fame of possessing a noble character sufficient evidence of his achievement? Bhakta, well, what is past is past. Hereafter, at least, I shall hold fast and endeavor. You please grant me an Upadesham. Swami, your attitude is exactly like asking at dawn after watching the Ramayana enacted during the whole night how Sita was related to Rama. When your property or destiny and your qualifications ripen, it will come by itself. There is no need for you to ask. Really speaking, the disciple should not of his own accord ask for Upadesham, for he cannot himself be aware of his qualification and his self-control. The Guru will pay attention to that, and after considering the steadiness of his disciple's mind and his future welfare, he himself will bless him with Upadesham. You should not get Upadesham twice or thrice. It is unique, not duplicable. Instead, if you give up one Upadesham and take up another, whenever you feel like it, your condition will be like that of a married woman gone astray. Bhakta, so what is now my fate? Is there no way to save myself? Swami, repent for the mistake committed. Meditate on the name received first as Upadesham with faith and devotion. For Samarana or remembering God, however, you can use as many names as you like. But for Dhyana or meditation, the name received in Upadesham alone can be used. Under any circumstances, don't change that sacred name. In this way, transform your heart through persistent yearning and you can succeed in reaching the goal. Bhakta, Swami, today is indeed a good day. All the doubts in me have flown away due to the message you gave. What greater Upadesham do I need? As you said, Upadeshams create doubts. But the message, Sandesha, destroys the doubts, brings joy. If permitted, I will go to my place and come again, bringing with me some new doubts to be cast down here in your presence in exchange for peace and joy. If you so command, I shall come next month. Swami, good. What more do I want than that people like you, who should be rid of the sandeha or doubts from which they suffer, should grasp the real significance and welcoming the satya or truth, well as the sandesha, gladly dwell in the constant remembrance of the Lord. Whenever you come, whatever doubts may arise, learn the way of ridding yourself of trouble and go. You should never suffer within yourself. With that kind of trouble, whatever sadhana you may do will be a waste, as rose water poured on ash. Very well, go and come. Jai Sai Ram.
Saishwaraya vidmahe satyadevaya dhimahi tanna sarva prachodayat. Om Saishwaraya vidmahe satyadevaya dhimahi tanna sarva prachodayat. Om Saishwaraya vidmahe satyadevaya dhimahi tanna sarva prachodayat. Om